Okay, so we have moles. Moles are just a method of counting that we use in chemistry because atoms are so small we can't count them by individual atoms. So just as if you were counting eggs and instead of counting them by individual eggs, you counted them by the dozens, by the number of cartons they filled. We are doing something similar, except it's not 12, it is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. So 1 mole is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. We're counting either particles, atoms, compounds, etc. Anything like that is what we're counting. Ions could be counted. Anything that is a small particle like that. So we're going to use this number as our conversion factor. Our first question is how many atoms are in 3.7 moles of carbon? So we're starting with moles and we want to convert that to atoms. So I write down my given information first. Now, since I want to cancel out moles, I put them in the denominator. And I'm going to put atoms in the numerator. It's 1 mole per every 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. So 1 mole, 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. In this case, the number ends up on the top. Anytime we do this, we want the whatever's on the top will get multiplied and whatever's on the bottom gets divided. So we're going to do 3.7 times this divided by this. And we know from math that we don't have to divide by 1, but we can. It wouldn't hurt anything. So now I go and set this up. I do 3.7 times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd power. Now I do recommend using this calculator because you can see everything you typed in and you can see if you made a mistake. Alright, now 3.7 had 2 digits, so I'm going to round this to 2 digits. So 2.2 times 10 to the 24th. That's what this means in this calculator. That E just means scientific notation. So my answer here is 2.2 times 10 to the 24th power, and that is atoms. 2.2 times 10 to the 24th atoms. So this one was converting atoms to moles. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to convert moles to atoms. How many moles is 9.8 times 10 to the 24 helium atoms? So I'm going to write down my given information, which is right there. 9.8 times 10 to the 24 helium atoms. Here, open parentheses, just like that. Now this time I want to cancel out atoms, so I'm going to put atoms on the bottom. And I want to convert to moles because I'm saying how many moles. Okay. Now what numbers go where? 1 mole is 6.0 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. So 1 mole, 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. I match up the units to the numbers that go with them. Now what's the difference with this question? Well, this time, now atoms will cancel because there's one on the top and one on the bottom. And I'm going to take this number times 1 and then divide by this because it's in the denominator. So this divided by this will give me my answer. All right, 9.8 times 10 to the 24th divided by. Now, when I divide by something like this, I put it in parentheses just to make sure it all stays together. 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And we're going to round that to 2 places because 9.8 has 2 digits. So we're just going to say 16 moles. 16 moles of helium atoms. So you cancel out the units and you use whatever unit was not canceled.